I'm Robert Cooper. I'm coming to you from the Desert Classic Dance Sport Championships in beautiful Desert Springs, California. I'm here with Linda Wakefield. Linda, you've been asked to be a judge at this competition. How's it going for you?
So far, so good. Just finished my last session for the afternoon.
Wonderful. Probably a little tired.
Yes.
They have a record-breaking entry level at this competition this year. And Igor have really put together something fabulous. And as a competitor myself with my students, I've really enjoyed the camaraderie that we're feeling from all the competitors. Linda and her husband Lee head up the BYU dance program at Brigham Young University and have done so for how many years now?
Since 1980.
Since 1980. And they have been a very integral part of the ballroom dance program throughout the United States and the world. In fact, I had the opportunity of dancing on the Brigham Young University tour team and winning a Blackpool championship in 1992 on the Latin team. I remember being in our gold Latin class where you are an instructor, and you were pregnant actually at that time too.
That would have been a sight.
Yeah, absolutely. And we worked very, very hard, and your teams have continued to progress and continue to take the championship in Blackpool, which is the most prestigious ballroom dance competition in the world. What does it take to get the collegiate program really, really going?
I would say our philosophy is basically that we want to prepare the students step by step. So they start off at the bronze level and they do their medals exams. They progress to the silver, the gold 2, and the gold bar. And so we have all these levels where they're constantly improving and setting goals to where they're being examined and adjudicated, basically.
Absolutely.
So that really has helped.
You know, if you would have asked me years ago if I would have gone on to become a professional ballroom dancer, I probably would have laughed in your face. Having done it as a hobby, but having really enjoyed it and having had the opportunity of working with so many wonderful coaches that you and Lee brought into the program, and of course being able to go on to get that Blackpool championship title has been really remarkable for me, and always something I can fall back on, you know, in my business at this time. Tell me, we have a very interesting thing going on here. Back in the 80s, Marcy Edgington and John Wheeler went to represent the United States in Bulgaria. Tell me a little bit about that, because that was a very, very interesting time where the Russians wanted to have a competition here in the United States. Tell me that story.
Well, there was a delegation of Russians who really wanted to come to America and compete, and so they organized a group of competitors that came over, and it was actually under the body of what was called then USABDA, which is now USA Dance, the amateur body for United States dancing. And so they asked BYU to host that competition, which we did, and they did like a team match and competed individually as well. And so those competitors had an experience at BYU. They left BYU and actually went to Los Angeles to a competition where they competed there as well. And they had great success. Their level of dancing was awesome. And from there, they were supposed to leave and go back to Russia. But most of them did not get back on the plane.
I do remember this. Actually, I was attending BYU and competed against them during that time. I was recently going through some pictures that I had, and it was really phenomenal seeing that. And Igor and Irina were part of that group.
It's amazing because just about 2 months ago, before we left for Blackpool this year, Irina was examining. She was our medal examiner for medals exams, and she was at BYU, and we actually gave her a t-shirt that someone had framed where they as competitors had signed this t-shirt as an exchange with the Americans, and they framed the t-shirt and I gave it to Irina and Igor as a souvenir, because it's all framed. It's really cool, and their signatures are on the t-shirt, and she just broke down and cried because that was actually the stepping stone for them, a huge turn in their career to come here to America and pursue their dreams.
I do remember, I believe it was the International Ball. We had two different pictures of flags on there, and I too have a t-shirt with names on it also. That was something we did. And one of the Russian competitors gave me these little pins. I still have those. That's pretty amazing. I do remember, didn't we give them fabric and rhinestones and that type of thing when they came over?
Yes, because they had to cover up their costumes a little bit.
Correct.
And they weren't completely modest, which BYU has a pretty strict dress code. And so, yeah, they were very very accommodating and willing, and so it just made everything work out great.
Wonderful,
We're really thrilled.
wonderful. And here we are at their competition now. You know, it's amazing to me to see the success that has just been born out of another program that BYU hosted.
It was really a coincidence in the long run. When you look back, you never know what's going to happen, and that experience was really, for us, a great experience. It was the first time we'd ever had Russians on campus dancing as amateur competitors, so it was really great.
Well, I feel very excited to have been part of that and being on the floor with them. I remember that very, very vividly as we're speaking about it. Tell me a little bit more about what's going on at BYU right now.
Oh, well, we're actually on a little bit of a break because we just returned from the British Championship.
And how was that?
Fantastic. We had our hardest competition ever this year. We won both events. At the time, we didn't know if we would, but when it came all to the end, we had 2 first-place marks in both the standard and the Latin, and so we were just thrilled. So right now we are kind of like on a little break, but we start up again in August with our tour team and getting ready for the next year.
Now you currently have 5 teams that are not really competing but perform at Brigham Young University. You have the main tour team, which is the one that goes and travels throughout the world. You have a backup team, and then 3 other equal teams?
Well, sort of. There are 2 beginning entry-level teams, and then the third one is a little bit more advanced. So we get a lot of high school students who have had ballroom programs in their schools that go onto that team. And then if they've had a lot of competition experience or performing experience, they progress to the backup tour team. And so, yeah, that's how it's all set up.
How many students do you think you have going through the program per year or per semester?
Per year, we have 5,000 students.
5,000 students per year going through that program, and only 180 of them get to that level of being able to be on a team, and only 36 get to be on the tour team.
That's right. Well, actually, it's 32 now. We've shaved it down to 32.
Okay. So it's a very, very competitive program, and people are vying for that. I have seen in my career since BYU the change in the ages. You know, I mean, getting younger and younger and younger.
That's because a lot of our alumni have gone into the junior highs, the elementary, and the high schools and created programs. So these kids are starting to dance in an elementary school, really. So by the time they get to us, they're really prepared.
Now, you recently had a 50-year reunion at Brigham Young University. Unfortunately, I was unable to be there. Yes, I did.
It was a great deal.
But it's quite interesting because several people on Facebook have said, Robert, we missed you there. And it's really fun to connect with them again, to see the photos and how we all have changed. And I saw you being lifted by Lee.
Oh, gosh.
Tell me a little bit about that. You were, you did a theater arts show on a Star Search?
Oh gosh, that was years ago. Oh my gosh, I'd even forgotten about that. Yes, and while Lee and I were competing, we went on Star Search, and we actually tied for first, and they had the audience break the tie by clapping.
Okay.
And anyway, we ended up being second, but we had a great experience there. But yes, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, I can remember dancing in the Marriott Center, you know, the big concert, ballroom dance concert, and having you and Lee in the finale doing something always. And I remember we did a Ravel's Bolero, and Lee lifting you and just being up there, and I was always mesmerized by that. I thought, wow, you know, I would like to do that one day. And I have gone on to do a couple of theater arts competitions, not only at BYU, but, you know, in my career since. So what do you think is the biggest change that has happened over the last 15, 20 years in ballroom dancing?
At Brigham Young University or in the United States?
I would say in the United States.
Well, obviously, with the exposure of television through, you know, dancing through the television media, people really have accepted it as a dance sport. And so everywhere I go now, people talk about ballroom dancing in a very respectful way and recognize it for the sport that it is. I would say the biggest change is that there are just so many more people interested in doing it at all levels, from social to competitive to performing. And so there's just been a surge, literally, of interest, and because they can see the value of it from the shows on TV, and it's just a great thing.
Now, you have 2 competitions at BYU. You have the medals ball and the international ball. And if my memory serves me well, when I was there, tons of little kids were competing. Yeah, it's still
And there
going
still
on.
are.
Yeah.
And we have our United States Championships through the NDCA in March, and we had this year 69 formation teams that competed at it.
69 formation teams.
And
Unbelievable.
we had, I can't remember how many, hundreds and hundreds of competitors, all amateur, starting from preteen all the way up to youth and amateur. So it's phenomenal. It takes us 3 days solid from 8 in the morning till midnight every single day, just solid competition.
I'm sure that's a lot of stress, and I'm sure you're quite fatigued after that, but I can't imagine the overwhelming feeling of pride when you see that happening.
Oh yeah, it's a great feeling.
When I think of the names Lee and Linda Wakefield, it's so synonymous with ballroom dance to me because of my experience at BYU. But I think the two names are so well respected in the United States and throughout the world when it comes to ballroom dancing. Your contribution has been unbelievable. People know you, you're out there, you're judging. The prestigious name of Brigham Young University is just, in the ballroom dance world anyway, just that's where people want to go. Your dance camps, your competitions, and people that just want to get into the university just to be part of that program. It's unbelievable to me what doors it has opened for me in my life, and I owe a lot of gratitude to you and Lee for who I am being here today. It's wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Linda Wakefield, I can't tell you how much I love this woman, and Lee Wakefield, and everything they gave to me when I was at BYU, and I'm here today to be a testament of ballroom dancing can be a wonderful thing for your entire life. I wish you all the success in the world, and it's good to see you. Again, Robert Cooper coming to you from the Desert Sport Competition Desert Classic in beautiful Desert Springs. Thank you.